KSJE is supported by the University of Denver Graduate School of Social Work Four Corners program. Proud to offer a Master's of Social Work degree in the Four Corners community. Application for the 2022-2024 cohort is open. Classes are taught Fridays and Saturdays in Durango. Find out more by emailing Janelle.Doughty, D-O-U-G-H-T-Y, at du.edu or at du.edu/socialwork/Four Corners. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, a community-owned and operated hospital. Here for you when you need us. From emergency care to routine checkups and screenings, caregivers are here and ready to provide the safe, high-quality care you need close to home. Online at sanjuanregional.com with the latest health information and resources to help you live life better here. "11 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday morning, the 7th day of March, 2022. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin, and thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM, of course, over the air here in San Juan County, New Mexico. 103.3 FM coming soon, back to Durango, Colorado, and streaming everywhere else on the planet from our website, of course, KSJE.com. And welcome to our viewers, because this is a community-supported visual radio station, so the video is streaming live this morning out to the KSJE Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and our Twitter account. Coming up in the next few moments, my guest here in the studio, Farmington Museum Director Bart Wilsey is here. He's going to be talking about the recent reopening of the E3 Children's Museum, some of their exhibits that are on display right now at the museum, and some of the upcoming plans for later on this spring and summer. So we hope you'll stay tuned for that conversation, which starts in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Later on this hour, we'll be talking technology with my guest Lewis Campbell from Synergy Computer Systems here in Farmington. That's our Monday Reboot segment coming up today at 8:50 a.m. And then, of course, next hour, Mick Hess is going to take us roving with the arts. And this morning, Mick is featuring music from the great composer Haydn. You'll hear some of that coming up today after the news at 9:06 a.m. on Roving with the Arts. Don't forget, you can also connect with us on our Instagram page in addition to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. And if you're a podcast person, you can subscribe for free to KSJE Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, on all the popular podcast platforms. So subscribe to KSJE and take us with you and maybe hear something new that you haven't heard about before from the local area. Our weather forecast, it is a partly cloudy Monday morning so far, 28 degrees outside our studios here at San Juan College. We are expecting some decreasing clouds throughout the day today, but still some scattered showers or maybe snow showers in the forecast. Today's high only 39 in Farmington. Maybe some more snow showers overnight tonight with a low of 19. But then sunshine on Tuesday with a high of 43 tomorrow before things cloud up again Tuesday night. Chance of rain showers on Wednesday with a high of 47. Maybe some frozen mix Wednesday night with a low of 33. More chances for rain or snow on Thursday before things might clear out with sunshine on Friday with a high near 40. Warmer sunshine on Saturday with a high near 50. But we'll keep an eye on that and see how it all turns out. But we always appreciate the moisture whenever we can get it. And we got some good snow and rain over the weekend, so that was good. Let me introduce my guest, who is, my guest who is here with me this morning. Bart Wilsey is here in the studio, the director of the Farmington Museum. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning, Scott.
Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks for coming back in. So big news, the Children's Museum, the E3 Children's Museum has reopened.
Absolutely.
Very exciting.
It is very exciting.
People are using a lot of exclamation points when they hear about this.
People have been asking us this for a very long time, so we're excited to have it back open.
Right. 2 years, as a matter of fact, to be precise, correct? I mean, it was a
closed,
victim
yeah.
of the pandemic, really.
Yes.
And like a lot of other things, in fact, the main museum was closed for a time.
Right.
But so March 1st, right? That was when things reopened?
March 1st, E3 reopened with new kind of slightly limited hours from before, but yes, we are open and going.
There you go. And you were reminding me before we came on the air this morning that since it's been closed for 2 years, there are some probably E3 aged kids in the area who've never been to the Children's Museum.
Well,
so it's a brand new world for them.
2 years is a long time for kid years.
In kid years, no kidding.
Yes, so there's going to be a whole new crop of kids that we've never experienced and they've never experienced us.
Right.
So it's exciting to be able to provide that.
Indeed. And so remind us a little bit about what folks can do and experience at the Children's Museum, because I know it's one of my favorite places because you get to touch and do stuff. You can't just look at stuff behind glass.
Exactly. It's the do place.
Yes. Right.
So one area that we have, and you've got it up on the screen right now, is our Tots turf area, and that's specifically for the little kiddos.
They don't let me go in there anymore.
Yeah.
No,
we have bouncers for that.
Yeah, but for the younger kids.
For the younger kids, five and younger, this is for them, and it's really focused on learning motor skills and different things like that. So it's a little bit different environment, but kids have just a great time in there exploring, doing things, trying things out. And it's all kind of Naugahyde soft sculpture type things, so they can't really get into anything there that's dangerous or anything like that. So they just have a great time exploring that space.
That's great. And I know a lot of moms and dads will come and let the kids loose in there. It's kind of a place where they can just kind of observe and let the kids be kids, right, and not have to worry about anything.
It is. We have some benches there for moms and dads, and some of the moms and dads go in there and explore it with their kids, too. So we encourage that as well.
Right. But that's great. And then I know on the other side is some of the other interactive exhibits and displays that you have, too.
Right. And this area, of course, is for the bigger kiddos. We have a little house and farm area, as you can see on the screen right there. We've got some video magnification things that you can look at stuff up close on those video screens. So it's kind of it's really based on science and hands-on interactives.
Right. And that's really been kind of by design since it opened, was to have these interactive educational exhibits for the kids to come in and really try to explore and learn.
Exactly, explore and learn, and we have different activities within all of that. We've got a giant light bright that kids can play with and make different patterns with. We've got some sound interactives. We've got a recycling station where they can actually build stuff out of recycled material. So just a little bit of everything for the kids.
Right. Very great. And again, I know a lot of folks are thrilled that the E3 Children's Museum has reopened. The new hours are when?
The new hours are 10 to 2 Tuesday through Friday, and then 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Okay. And you were telling me that a lot of homeschool moms and dads and others utilize the museum for their students, their kids.
Yes, the homeschool crowd does utilize us a lot for their activities and their outings, and to be quite honest, their science and their art.
Right.
We provide both of those pretty heavily in our facility there, and so they utilize those programs quite a bit.
Very good. And I imagine there'll be some other events and other programs kind of ramping back up now that you are reopening.
We will be.
Time allows.
We're kind of taking it one step at a time on those.
Sure.
It's kind of hard to relearn everything.
Right.
But yes, we will be bringing things back. One of the things that we are bringing back immediately is Toddler Playdate on Wednesday morning at 10. We have a little activity, with the kiddos can go into Tots Turf and explore that space, and then we have a little activity for them afterward or during that.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So that's happening already.
That's happening already. Yep.
So this Wednesday.
Yep. And we're also doing a program called Early Explorers on Fridays. So same time, same channel. So.
Okay. There you go.
And then one other thing that people don't realize is we rent our activity room out for birthdays, and we're not starting that yet until kind of into April, but look forward to having that open and rentable again for kids' parties.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
it's a big thing for a kid to have
That
a
is a
party
big deal. Well, yeah.
at the
At the Children's Museum. No kidding. Gets a run of the place,
Yeah,
too,
right.
pretty much, I would assume. So that's wonderful. Terrific. And, of course, the Children's Museum, we should mention, is located at 302 North Orchard.
Right.
I have that
Right.
burned into my head for whatever reason, but I've
Yes.
been there a number of years. And, of course, it's a great addition to the whole Farmington Museum system, and
Right.
glad to see it back open again. And really, again, it was all pandemic, and just to
Yep.
do it as safely as you can, and now you're able to do it safely.
Right. Exactly.
So that's
Yep.
wonderful. Let's talk about some of the other things that are going on at the main museum, of course, or the nature center, and some of the things that are happening. Of course, spring is slowly, hopefully, arriving.
Coming, yeah.
Today's forecast notwithstanding, but things have been warming up a little bit, and so
Right.
you've got some things planned for that.
We do. One of probably the biggest things that we're bringing back is our Summer Terrace series. So we're going to have music out on our patio this spring and summer. So that's going to be fabulous.
Looking forward to that.
We kind of had a abbreviated schedule last year. We did do a few of them, but we're
Right.
looking at a full schedule this year, June through August.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very
So
cool.
That'll be wonderful.
And again, if you haven't been to the back of the museum there on East Main Street to enjoy a concert or just a summer evening, you're missing out.
You are missing out, because that is a beautiful area and it's a great place for a concert. Hang out, bring a lunch or whatever.
Snack, yeah.
Snack.
Right.
Yep. Really fabulous spot.
Very good. And those are usually on Saturdays. Is that still the plan?
Saturdays 6 to 7:30.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good.
And we'll be putting more things out about that on our Facebook page and
Okay.
website, stuff like that. So.
And on KSJE. Cause
And
we're
on
sponsor it.
KSJE,
So that's
absolutely.
good. So we're excited to be a part of that too, because it's a great summertime entertainment.
It's a
for sure.
great community event. Yep. So
Very good. That's cool. And then on display right now at the museum, what would we see if we go by and take a visit?
On display right now, right now in our atrium, we have an exhibit called Women Inventors. It's a poster exhibit from the Smithsonian about women's roles in inventing things, and we kind of profile some women inventors in that. So that's pretty cool. And then in our galleries, we have three main exhibits right at the moment. Our Built by Gas is one that we just opened, which is a commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the first commercial gas well here in San Juan County, which is a very historical exhibit. We blended in a lot of Farmington history. You can't talk about farming without talking about energy and vice versa, because they really kind of became hand in hand. Ups and downs, both of them. You know. So,
well, and it really, energy, as we know, has changed the look of our community over the years. But it's interesting, I think, for folks to maybe think about the first commercial gas well is 100 years old, so that goes back to 1921. From 2021.
Exactly.
But yet it took about 30 years or so, 25 to 30 years, for the boom to happen before it really became more commercially viable, I guess, and really people saw the benefits of really producing more out of this area, and the pipeline and the infrastructure that needed to be put in place for that to happen.
Right. Initially with that first one, they piped it to Durango and Albuquerque, and so there was a market there, but it didn't compare to when they put the pipeline into California, because when that happened, it just cut loose.
Right.
And
that's when we see a lot of the big growth.
That's when we saw expanding from 3,500 people to over 23,000 in 10 years.
Right.
So,
and that was the decade of the 50s.
You're right.
If I remember.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
yep.
but exciting. I mean, and interesting to, I think, learn just how early these folks were exploring. And figuring out how to do it safely and then managing it and getting it to other markets.
Right.
Exporting it. So.
Well, and there were a whole host of issues that they had to overcome. Pressure within the line. They had to figure out how to regulate that pressure, because when they didn't, if you had your stove on and you hit a higher pressure pocket of gas, I mean, it burned a few houses down during that first period. So yeah, they had some things they had to overcome.
Right, but still at the kind of cutting edge of this new energy.
Well, absolutely,
product, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And now with all the headlines of all the gas prices and everything, not that kind of gas, but energy related, it's still a very timely topic.
Sure. Well, and we know how dependent, even still, our state and our basin is on natural gas and the market fluctuations and things along that line. And so, again, I think there's a lot of folks that are listening to us this morning who's maybe parents or grandparents or relatives work in the oil and gas industry even today, that would find it interesting to learn more about it and the history of it too.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we tried to do with the exhibit is really have people understand the impact of what that is. And within the exhibit, we've got a map that shows every location of every gas well in the San Juan Basin, and there's 56,000 wells with 26,000 of them being active right now. So that's an enormous impact.
Right. And a big infrastructure, I guess, too, right?
Big
when
infrastructure,
you are talking about all these wells.
And big revenue, too, especially, for a tax base. So, yeah, it's very much still a very, what would I say?
Economic driver?
Economic driver, or a pillar of one of the economic drivers in the area.
Sure, for sure. In addition to the retail and some of the other things that we know about Farmington and the surrounding area, you bet. So that's very true.
Yep.
And this is going to be, I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, part of a larger exhibit that you would like to put together as well down the road about the energy history of the San Juan County area.
Well, it is, because we kind of use this as kind of a jump start to start talking about that larger exhibit that will even blend Farmington history and the oil and gas industry together even more. But yeah, that's one of the things that we really want to do in the next probably 3 to 5 years.
Got it.
Yeah.
But very exciting. But at least this part is
This
there
part
that people can
is
go in and
there.
see already. So that's one.
Yep.
In the gallery space, you've got 2 others.
We got 2 others. One is called All Dressed Up, and it's highlighting a bunch of the textile collection that we have in our collections. Mostly women's hats, but we do have some other garments in with the exhibit. But Lola Furman, her daughter donated, I think, 265 women's hats to the museum, just all different kinds, shapes, sizes, styles, just an absolutely fabulous collection, and we wanted to showcase and highlight it because it hadn't seen the light of day for a while, and some of them are just incredible works of art. So we've got that up right now.
Very cool. And these are from which era, would you say? Mostly the 50s and 60s,
well,
or 60s and 70s?
These go from probably the turn of the century up to probably the 40s into the 50s.
Okay.
For the most part, and we've got quite a few in all in that range.
Right.
So, yes.
And most came from this donation, but have you thrown in some others too that were donated to make it a
Yeah,
more...
we do have a few others in there from different people. I know we have a a beanie from 1917 on exhibit that we actually have the class photo of some people wearing those, so you can actually see it
how it was
from when it happened. Yeah,
interesting.
So that's kind of fun.
Nice. And so that's on display now, and that'll be up for how long?
That's going to be up for quite a while too. We don't have any plans for taking that down right now. So yep.
And these again came from your collection.
Our collection. During the COVID, it was nice because we took some time to develop some exhibits from our very own collections, and that's what's kind of grown out of and what we have on exhibit right now. So the other exhibit that we have is an exhibit called Seldom Seen, and it's an exhibit of our permanent art collection, things that we've purchased from Tota Festival, or our National Juried Art Show, or a Regional Juried Art Show when we did that, or donations from artists or patrons of art that we want to have in our collection. So we've got people from Rod Hubble, James Joe, Sarah Teofanov, Dwight Long.
These are names that we should all recognize, and we do, because they are notable local
from here.
artists,
yes,
for sure.
Absolutely. But we've got people from all over the country because of our National Juried Art Show, and then also art from the Tota Festival.
Nice.
So we've got a great blend of everything in that show.
And these are pieces that, from over the years of having these different exhibits and shows and Tota Festivals and things that you or someone has decided should be part of this permanent collection of the Farmington Museum.
Correct. Yes. So we've purchased a lot of them out of those different types of shows.
Right. Yes. So not just one theme necessarily. They are just what kind of catches your eye, and I know it's all different materials and mediums and sculpture and paintings and watercolor and oils and you name it, you probably have it.
It's everything. Yes. Sculpture.
Nice.
Everything.
Very cool. Yep. And the best of the best, I would say, too, when you think about it, from all of these different gallery shows and exhibits.
Right. As many of the best of shows as we could buy, we bought them, or, whatever, if they've won an award and it particularly fits, what we want to do. And there's a lot of stuff from New Mexico artists, I know, in that show, too. So there's just a lot of nice diversity within it.
Nice. Well, people can check that out. That'll be up for a while as well, you think?
That's going to be up for quite a while as well, until we bring on our Wild Kratts exhibit this in September.
Okay.
So
can you and remind us about that one, because I know we talked about that a few months ago.
Right.
But that is more of a
that's a traveling exhibit. It's from the Minnesota Children's Museum. It's based off of the Wild Kratts brothers that are on PBS. They take on different powers of different animal creatures. So there's a lot of science behind these exhibits, and kids will be able to take on different powers of different animals and discover science.
Interesting. Very cool. So if you have a child or a grandchild, you probably already know what we're talking about. And what
absolutely,
and what these kids are all about.
Absolutely, because my kids grew up with them, so they're not grown up yet, but they're excited that this is coming in.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's your focus group right there in
exactly.
your own living room. So that works. But and there's two different exhibits, right?
There are two different exhibits, but we're bringing in both at the same time. The one exhibit is called Creature Power, and then the other one is called Ocean Adventure, but we're combining the two when we bring them in, so it'll pretty much fill up the big new hall.
I would think so.
Yeah, so that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and that's coming in the fall, you said, in September?
Coming in September.
Okay,
yes.
Very good. And we just have a couple of minutes remaining this morning, Bart Wilsey, and I wanted to ask you a bit about, you mentioned the donation of the hats and things from Lola Furman and her family, and so do you still get families or folks who will call and say, hey, I got this stuff that my mom had collected or my grandmother had collected or whoever, would it be interesting to the museum, or what's the process? Do you kind of accept those calls and take a look at some of these things?
We do. In fact, we do that on a regular basis. People call us all the time about things, and you never know what you're going to discover, because and I'll just give an example. One of the biggest photography collections that we received came out of Boston. Came out of a study from Cornell University. One of the professors there did a anthropology study out here and had 800 negatives from the 1950s, and so that's the John Collier Jr. Photographs that we got donated to the museum. And I mean, something like that is just an absolute treasure. And yeah, we look for things all the time.
Right.
So,
and even though it's from Boston, it definitely has connections to this area because he was photographing Native Americans in the Navajo Nation. And
he was on the reservation doing a study, and they didn't even. It wasn't even limited to that. They took photographs and trading posts and work around Farmington and a little bit of everything. So it really documented a lot of different things that we really focus on in our mission for the museum.
Right. So, and an interesting kind of moment in time, frozen, of this era when I think a lot of folks were talking about maybe the Navajo Nation maybe moving from more agriculture to maybe more of an urban commuting type of a population, and it was a big change for
Well, it was a big change because it was after World War II, and a lot of the GIs were used to kind of a regular paycheck, and a lot of them went to work, when that boom was happening. So yeah, it was
that gas boom we talked about.
That gas boom, it was a huge shift.
Gotcha.
So
if I got a bunch of old hats lying around, I can call you?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
I'll take a look at them.
But I imagine you're looking at some Farmington connection or some connection to this area. It can't just be something that you brought with you that's 100 years old.
That's definitely the most desirable, and one of the things that we try and do is get the story behind the object.
Right.
So we really can talk about the family or the times that they lived through, from an exhibit standpoint. So yeah, that's one of the things that we really try and do is get the information behind the object.
Gotcha.
Because,
sure,
just an object doesn't tell the story.
Right. Like the beanie is just a beanie, but get the photograph that shows the beanie being worn in context
by one of those graduating classes. Yeah, then you make it real.
Right.
Yes.
And we know more about the history of how it came to be. And
you understand that way back then there weren't a lot of people in the school here. So yeah,
that's right.
It tells a story.
Graduating class of about how big? Back in that time.
I think it might have been 15, maybe 12, 15, something like that. Not many.
Yeah, compared to 700
right.
FHS and PV today. So interesting, very good.
Yep.
Well, Bart, always a pleasure to have you in. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you,
again,
Scott.
E3 Children's Museum has reopened. At the new hours again, one more time.
10 to 2, Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 5 on Saturday.
All right, there you go. Very good. I know a lot of folks are very happy about this news.
Come see us. We're open for business.
Very exciting. One more example of a bit more normal life, so we're glad to see it.
Exactly, especially people looking for things for kiddos to do.
That's true, and it's a great spot, so perfect. Thanks for coming in, Bart. Good to see you.
Thank you.
That's Bart Wilsey. He is the director of the Farmington Museum. My guest this morning here on KSJE. KSJE and San Juan College present the Student Success Coaching Tip of the Week.
Hello, this is Emin Chi from the Student Achievement Center. This week we're bringing you coaching tips of the week for week 7. Taking good notes. Studying starts in the classroom. Pay attention and take good notes. So when you're studying later, you're just reviewing information. Speak with your professor about recording lectures on your phone. A recording can complement your notes so you can go back and re-listen to the information in case there are other details you pick up on later to note. Effective note-taking strategies can have a direct impact on your study habits and is one of the most important study tips for college.
The Student Success Coaching Tip of the Week, presented by KSJE and the Student Achievement Center at San Juan College. KSJE is supported by the Farmington Civic Center, bringing a full slate of entertainment to Farmington and San Juan County. Todd Oliver and Irving the Talking Dog, Monday, March 7th at 7:30 p.m. The Farmington Civic Center, 200 West Arrington in downtown Farmington. Find out more online at fmtn.org/shows or at 505-599-1148.
COVID-19 cases are high and it's overwhelming our health